Welcome to the world of colors. I'm Colors. Today we're going to be making a pilgrim project. This is a man pilgrim that I have here, and we're going to make him in his entirety today. I have his materials in front of me, and I'll be right back with you to give you the list of materials you're going to need to make him. So what we're going to be using to make this Pilgrim Man gnome is some 6-inch rollers. The thin ones you could use, or the ones that are regular size will be fine as well for the arms. And you want to get 2 of these Fab Lab hats from Joann's. They fit just right. We need 2 of those. We need to get a pair of white men's crew socks from the Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a package. You just need 1 pair. And then 1 pair of the black that comes 2 in a package. You just need the 1 pair. And we need a 3-inch by 4-inch piece of white felt. 2 1/2 inch by 2-inch pieces of white felt. We need 2 1-inch by 12-inch pieces of tan felt. We need a 3/4 inch by 16-inch piece of black felt for his belt. And then for his jacket, we need an 8-inch by 13-inch piece of black felt. For his nose and hands, we need 3 6 by 6 inch pieces of the sandstone felt. And for his beard, we need whatever color you want to use, a 4-inch by 5-inch piece of fur for his beard. We're going to be using the pot of gold pots that you get at Dollar Tree at St. Patrick's Day and at Halloween. They have these pots in there, and that's what we use to make the boots. So we're going to be using 2 of those. They come in a package of 5. We're going to be using 2 5.5 by 6-inch pieces of black felt for his shorts, and 2 6-inch by 7-inch pieces of black felt for the sleeves. We're also going to be using some flat marbles, some rubber bands, polyester fiber fill. We're going to be using the blush to blush the nose, so you get your blush out. And then we're going to be using a squash, a miniature squash and pumpkin for embellishments. Also, I have discovered these gold glue sticks at the Dollar Tree in the Crafter's Square section. They've got the gold ones, and then they've got a package of colored ones. See, I have them here. You can get that I thought were really nice to be able to get, and so I'm using the gold ones today on the buckles of the Pilgrim. So we'll be using those. So if you're able to pick up a package of those at the Dollar Tree at the Crafter's Square, we're going to be using those. So that should be about it. I'm going to get this stuff scooted out of the way, and then we're going to get started on this project, making this Pilgrim Man gnome. So you want to start your project today by taking the 2 pots, the 2 pot of gold pots. We're going to make the shoes first, and just take the handles off. Get rid of those. And then you want to, there's a seam usually running down the side of the little pot. Not always, but usually there's a seam there that you can see. And then take your craft scissors and just cut down on the seam on both of the shoes. boots in this case. And that is what you want to do, is take and put yourself a little slit in this upper part of the trim to catch the rubber band, to hold the rubber band in place when we get the rubber band going on there. So you want to just do a little slit like that. Like that on both shoes. And you just want to push them in together like that. You got that little slit area right there, and you got it pushed in, if you can see what I'm doing. And that's what's going to hold the rubber band, is that slit's going to catch it. Otherwise the rubber band would keep popping off there. So you do the one like that. What just happened here is when I brought it over, it broke my plastic on my shoe here. But I have another one made up. If you could grab that other shoe over there for me. Here we go. We have another one here that was already made up. So sometimes that happens where it breaks the plastic and you lose a pot. But it's a good thing they're only 20 cents a piece. So I kind of want the top of this second shoe to be as small as this one. I don't like them to be uneven like that. So I'm going to add a rubber band to this one and get it to be a little bit smaller for me. There we go. Now they're the same size, which is what we're looking for. So what you want to do next is to take your X-Acto knife, and you want to cut a hole in the side of the shoe. About like that. And then the other one. I don't think I've ever had that hard of a time cutting a hole. Sometimes if it gets to that stage, you can easier just to clip it off with your craft scissors. So this is what I cut out of them. Bigger than a dime. A little bit smaller than a nickel. And that'll let us be able to glue them together. What you want to do is take your pair of black socks. In this case, we want to have a pair of black boots. So we're going to use the full cushion men's crew socks from Dollar Tree. It's a size 6 through 12. Just the regular socks. They come 2 in a package. We're going to use 1. And you want to take that pair of socks and just cut the tops off. Use my fabric cutters here. Cut the top off like that. Save the tops for arms for another gnome, and use the bottoms. A little visitor here. You want to use the bottoms for the shoes. You want to take and get the seam, find the seam on the bottom of the sock, and that's what goes on the front of the shoe. And you tuck them in. Like that. And you want to put the other sock and the other shoe together. Making sure that your seam is coming right across the bottom there. I'm checking to make sure my seam is right. And then you can feel where you cut the holes at. You want to get your glue and glue it right in that circle where you cut the hole, like that. And then put them together right where the holes are. And put them flat down and hold them tight together until that sets up. So if you just give me a minute and I'll be right back with you. So I've got these all set up, little pair of shoes, and I made a set previously this morning and I filled them with marbles, which is what we're going to do with this Pilgrim, is we're going to fill the shoes or the boots with marbles. So I'm going to set the ones that I just made aside and use the ones I made earlier because they're already filled with marbles. We're going to set those down for a minute and I'm going to make the body to go on the boots. And I'm just going to use a pair of the white crew socks that you get at the Dollar Tree. Just the regular men's crew socks, 6 through 12. And we're going to use those for the body, the 9-inch body that we need for the Pilgrim. So what we want to do is cut just below the ribbed area here. I want to leave enough of the bottom to get my 9-inch body that I need. So that's about how much I'm going to leave to make sleeves. So I'm going to make sleeves with these. So then I take and I put the two bottom pieces together. We're just going to put polyester fiber fill in this body this time and not put the marbles. We're just going to put the marbles into the boots. We want to fill this all the way up till it's 9 inches. So if you give me a minute, I'll be right back with you. So now we have the shoes all set, and we want to take the body that we just filled, no marbles in this one, and fill that to as close to 9 inches as you can get it, and fasten it with a rubber band. This should look like this. And then just pull the bottom seam, just pull that out like that. You want to get as much space as you can on the bottom there to glue your shoes on. So I've got that, you can see, pulled out pretty far on the bottom. And then you just want to take your glue gun, go around the tops of the shoes, and then just take your body with your seam going across like that and set it right down on there. And apply quite a bit of pressure and let that set up. We've got the body glued down onto the boots. That turned out really good. And what we want to get out now is the 2 pieces of 5.5 by 6 inch black felt for the shorts. I'm going to put those on before the arms so that they slide down on here really nicely. So you want to take your 2 pieces of black felt and you want to glue the short ends together. We've got the shorts all cooled off, ready to turn the right way out. And then you just want to take them right down over the body. And depending on how much you stuff the body, it's a kind of a tight fit. And they're shorts. We don't want them to go all the way down, just about like that. Make sure they're about like that on the back. That fits really snug. You don't even have to worry about gluing it. Is what you want to do is make sure they're the same on both sides. And then if you take your glue and you lift this up a little bit, right in the middle in the front where the short line crease would be, if you lift that up and put your glue right there, and lay that back down on there, and then take your craft scissors and hold it right down on that glue, right where that seam is going to be, and let that set up. I'll show you in a minute what you'll get. I've got it set up here. Is what I did was I impressed the shorts so you could, if you could see that on the camera, so you can see that they're shorts that he's got on, and it's not just a piece of felt going across there. And then I turn around and do the same thing to the back. Put your glue in there. And then just hold that down for a couple minutes. How the back turns out when you do the glue technique. So it doesn't look like he's wearing a skirt. We want him to look like he's wearing a pair of shorts. So the next thing we're going to do is the arms. We're going to take the 7-inch rollers. I called them 6-inch rollers earlier, but they're 7-inch rollers. They fit the arms just right. And we're going to fill the arms with our polyester fiber fill. We don't want to overstuff them. We don't want them to look real muscly. And after you get your fiber fill in there, you just want to tunnel down through the middle and put your roller in there. And grab one of your rubber bands and fasten it like that. I'm going to push that roller down because I don't want it to be sticking up a lot where the cuff is. This is where the hand's going to go. This is the part that we're going to attach to the body. We put a rubber band around that. So you just want to tunnel down. This is the second one. Put the roller in the middle. Now he's got some black sleeves coming. You get your two 6 inch by 7 inch pieces of black felt. We'll put some sleeves on these arms. You want to put them about even with the rubber band at the wrist, where we're going to put a hand in a minute. So I'm going to kind of tack down the one side where I want it. And then I'm going to bring in the other side. I'm going to put glue on the whole other side. And just bring that in like that. You could put a rubber band on the end that's going to be glued down. We'll trim that up a little bit. So that's your one arm. And then I'll do the other one and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I've got both arms made now. I want to put some wrist covers. I cut two 1/2 inch by 2 inch pieces of white felt to cover up the rubber band at the cuff, to cover it up right here. I should have done this before I put my sleeves on, but this is how I did it when I made the other one too. I ended up doing it backwards. So we'll just put these on to cover up the rubber band. Just rolled it on there. Just like that. Looks a lot better. So that's where those pieces go. And the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and make the nose and the hands. We'll put those on and then we'll go ahead and get the arms glued on after that. So you want to get your 3 6 by 6 inch pieces for your nose and hands. You want to get some polyester fiber fill and roll it into the size that you think that you're going to want your nose to be. I'm going to make the nose first. And then you want to take it and put it right in the middle of your square. Push it up with your thumb, kind of pulling the sides down, the wrinkles out of the sides. And then take your rubber band and just start working your way around it. came out about the good size for his nose. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the extra off. That's going to make a good nose. I'm going to put the blush over here so I don't forget to blush his nose before I put it on. It's a lot easier if you do it that way than worrying about getting it on his other parts of him. So then I got to make 2 more pieces like I just did the nose for the arm, for the hands. So I want to get some polyester fiber fill about the size I think the hands should be. And I'm just going to do these 2 hands like I just did the nose, and so I'll be right back with you. So I've got my 2 hands made and the nose made, and I'm ready to put some blush on the nose. That should be good. And then we'll go ahead and get the nose glued on. I'll trim this off a little bit. You want to do is take your nose, put your glue right there on the end, and then on the one side. And set it right there in the middle. You're going to have to hold that for a couple minutes to let that set up. And then we're going to glue on the sleeves. So we got the nose set up on there. And I need to put the hands on. Glue them right on the end of these rollers here. So we just want to take and put some glue in the middle of the hand, the underside of it, and then around the rubber band. And put it in there right on that roller, and bring the cuffs up around it to catch that glue on the rubber band. And then just hold that for a couple minutes. I'm going to do that with the other arm, and then we're going to get to finally glue on the sleeves. I've got the hands glued on the arms now, and we're almost ready to glue them on to the body. I want to trim off the extra fabric that I have here at the end of the arms, because we don't really have a lot of room here behind the stub of the neck area, I guess. We don't have a lot of room there, so we don't want to have this extra on here that we don't need. We just need enough to make it so that we can glue on, so about like that. So I'm going to do that to both the arms, get them ready to glue, and then we're going to glue them on like that. I've got them bent how I want them, with that seam not showing in the front or the back. Then you put your glue right there. You put it right on there on the half of the back. And you want to hold that and let that set up enough that you can do the same with the other arm, and then you can hold them both and let them set up. And that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back with you. I've got his arms glued on, and the next thing we want to do is put on his jacket. Take out your 8" by 13" piece of black felt, 8" by 13". and fold it down in half and then over like that. And then take and cut not too large of a hole, maybe a size of a $half in there, and take that right over the top of his nose and the top of his arms. And then if you have some pink clips from the Dollar Tree, they're going to really help right here, because we're going to clip these. I'll put that over here so you can see. We're going to clip that jacket corner real good there. We're going to clip twice over here on the side of the jacket. And then do the same on the other side. You want to make sure it's all laid out right before we glue anything. And it's what I did on the other pilgrims that I've made. When I got to this stage, is I just went ahead and folded in this part of his jacket. Give it a more finished look. Just fold it in like that. That looks nice. And then take and go down here and start gluing those spots where you have the pink clips. Just put the glue in there and the clip back right on there again. And once you get it like this and you've got it gluing and you know it's all set up right, you can cut right down the middle of his jacket. Just like that. And then while that's setting up, I'm going to put on the white piece that goes on the top of his jacket on the back. Then we'll tie the belt. Get your 3/4 by 16-inch piece of black felt and get that ready. And we'll do that on his belts. We'll pull these pink clips off. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the belt tying into the front. The beard's going to cover up the belt in the front. You won't see it at all. It's basically so you can see it in the back. So I'm going to trim that a little bit. And the next thing that we can do is put on the beard. Get out your 4-inch by 5-inch piece of fur for your beard, whatever color you chose. And you want to go down to the bottom of the beard and just we're going to glue in these corners here to kind of round off the beard a little bit. So glue in that corner like that. Just rounds off the beard so it's not just so straight and square. Do this side. Like that. See, it gives it a better shape. Then you want to fold the beard in half. Go to the other end, the top part, and just take your scissors and cut down for about an inch. And then you want to put it up underneath the nose. And then glue that right in there. Glue the other side. You want to kind of tuck it in a little bit when you glue, because you want everything to be hidden underneath when we put the hat on. So I'm going to let that beard set up for a minute. And while it does, I get out my comb and start working on the mustache shape. And what really helps with that is if you use a really strong, stiff hairspray and you spray it and then use your comb, you can get that mustache to stay in pretty well. If you do it without the hairspray, it just keeps falling out. So yeah. About like that. Okay, so now what we want to do next is work on the hat. And I found these hats for another project that we did before at Joann's. They're really nice to be able to just buy them up and use them. Back in their doll section is where you'll find them. They say Fab Lab Craft Felt Hat on the label, on the little tag there. And we're going to need 2 of them because one doesn't give us enough height. We want a little bit more height. So we're going to use 2 of them, and I'll show you how to do that and get you some more height. So the first thing we want to do is we're gonna use the hat in this direction instead of this. I'm gonna go like that with your hat. We're gonna take the 1 inch by 12 inch piece of tan felt. You've got 2 of those. We're gonna use the first one, and we're gonna bring it around the hat to where it'll join together where the buckle is going to go. Where you can imagine the buckle will go in the center of the front of the hat. It's going to join together right here. That's where I'm going to put the buckle. So what we want to do is we want to find my glue gun. There it is. And glue down the tie band right there at the center. And you know right where that seam is where your buckle for your hat's gonna go. So that's what it would look like at this point. But it's too short of a hat. Doesn't look right. So I got another hat. Make sure I only have one here. And you take and you want to cut the rim off of it. Just go right around and cut. And toss the rim. I'm not going to use that. So what you want to do is set that right down to where it comes to the top of the felt that you have on there right now. And we're going to glue it right there in place like that, just to the top of the felt. So you want to put some glue inside the hat, kind of a little bit up so it doesn't ooze out too much. I'm going to put it down just as far as the felt is. Let the felt be the stopper. So it gives you, what, 3/4 of an inch higher in the height of the hat. And then what you want to do is take your other 1 inch by 12 inch piece of tan felt and go around your hat again, just barely coming up on top of that second piece. Just barely coming up onto it. It might take you a minute to get it just right. And then do the same thing as far as gluing. You want to keep your seam right there for your buckle. I think I need some glue. And then, of course, there was one thing I left out in the materials list that was laying right here on the table, were the 4 1 inch square pieces that I have cut out for the buckles. And I left them off the material list, but in the beginning, but they were laying there. So what you want to do is take your black marker and just draw your black square in the middle of your buckles. And then we're going to go around these with the glitter gold glue, so it gives it a sparkly buckle look. You got it like that. And we'll go ahead and get this glue down to the front of the hat. Now I'm going to save the gold glue for the last so it can dry without me working in it. So what you want to do is go ahead and glue his hat on. We've got the white piece on the back of his jacket on there. So now we've got everything in place. I'm going to go ahead and glue to the top of his nose and then to the top of his shoulders. I've got that sitting there pretty good. And then between the hat and the shoulders is where the other two glue points are going to be. I'm going to let this sit up on his nose a little bit, and then I'm going to put the glue on the sides. I'll be right back with you. Got the front glued to the nose pretty well enough that I think that I can go ahead and go in there and put some glue on between the hat and the shoulder, 2 or 3 pumps in there on both sides. And that's going to be how the hat's glued on this one. It's just going to be in 3 spots, and it's plenty of glue. The next thing we're going to do, as soon as I can take my hands away from these 2 spots, we're going to put the other buckles on, embellish him with his pumpkin and his squash, and then he'll be finished. You'll have a new pilgrim at your house. Okay, so let's work on the buckles a little bit here. What I need to do is I'm going to put a piece of the gold glue in my glue gun. Let that be setting up for me. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to take the buckles and we're going to put 2 on the shoes and 1 on the belly area where the belt is, but low enough that we can see it. So we want to take those 3 pieces and put the squares in the middle of them. Once we get these all glued on, we will use the gold glitter glue around them, and it really does make them look shiny like metal. So let me get these glued on in their spots. We'll go ahead and put this one in the center here. It's going to be lower than the belt so that we can see it, but it's not going to be noticeable at all that it's lower. I'm just pulling the jacket open a little bit more there. And then we want to put 1 on each shoe. And I'm going to put the pumpkin and the squash in their hands, in his hands before, while I'm waiting for my glue to be ready. Yeah, it looks like it's ready. We want to do the glue last so it can set up without us disturbing the pilgrim any farther. So I'm going to go ahead and put this pumpkin in place. I've got the pumpkin set up on the this arm, and we want to put the squash on the other arm. So we'll do that real quick. They're really lightweight, so you don't have to put a lot of glue. You don't have to glue it in a lot of different spots. This one should glue pretty fast. And then we'll get the glue put around the buckles, and he'll be finished. Next week I'm going to do the woman gnome. I had her out here. I'll show her again before we finish today. We'll do her next week and see where we go from there with the Thanksgiving projects. So what you want to do with the gold glue that you get at Dollar Tree in the bags. Not sure where my bags went now, but you get it in bags in the Dollar Tree in the craft area. It says on the bag to use it with your hot temperature glue gun. So I switched my temperature from the low setting to the hot setting because I have this glue in there right now. So then you just want to take it and go around your black squares on your buckles. You don't have to do it perfect, but just try to make a square or a rectangle. Go around it like that. This is a real stringy glue. I gotta tell you that. Real stringy. You're constantly pulling the string off. Then you can take the nose of the glue gun and straighten up your glue. About like that is what you want to do. And then I'll do the middle one. Just going along where the black and the tan meet. Just like that. Do the lower buckles. And that's what you do. And see why I waited to the end to do that was so that this would have plenty of time to set up without me doing anything else to the Pilgrim. Now I'll let that set up. He's all finished. That's how he looks. Next week we're going to do this one. And we're going to be coming to you on Wednesdays from now on. And if you like this video, please make sure to like. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Thank you for coming.